Morning, guys. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters and the Pathfinder School, back out here at the Pathfinder School Outdoor Kitchen. What we're going to do this morning is we're going to make a classic breakfast of chipped beef gravy or shit on a shingle, and we're going to make the gravy from scratch. But it would be just as easy to carry a packet of some type of Pioneer, just add water, peppered gravy or something like that, and some budding chipped beef with you, and you could make this meal quick and dirty in camp if you wanted to. I thought what we do today is, since we're in a more base camp environment, is we'd make the gravy from scratch, but it's going to turn out pretty much the same. Mine will just be a little bit better than the packaged stuff. So stay with me. We'll get. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our multi-fuel stove and some isobutane to cook on today. And this kit right here is kind of a kit that I carry: a plate, a set of silverware, this rack inside my skillet, and I just put a strap over the top of that. And I'm working on making this into some kind of a kit right now. Getting a lot of these straps is the problem right now at a low enough price. It's not going to add $4 or $5 to the silly kit. So we're working on that. But then it will become a kit like this that you can use to cook on in camp. And it works really, really well. So that's what we're going to use today. So we're going to start off by getting our stove fired up and get some butter melted in this skillet. Don't need a real high heat for this. Again, I've got stick butter here that I'm going to use for this recipe today because it's going to taste better that way. But you could use lard as a substitute for butter if you didn't want to carry butter on the trail, but you wanted to carry flour and things like that to make homemade gravy on the trail. You could use lard as a substitute for this, easy enough. So we'll just cut us about a quarter of a stick here. Start off with. Get that in our skillet, melting down. Now we don't want to burn this butter, so we've got to control our heat. As this stove heats up, we can continue to turn it down and get that low heat that we're looking for. Now, the secret to cooking on a stove like this is knowing when you need to pull it off and put it back on, because sometimes it'll start to get hotter than you want it to. If you pull it off for a minute, it'll help. And then you can also pull it off to adjust your flame. Again, as this thing heats up, it's going to be easier to dial that lower heat in. Okay, once we got that butter heated up, we're going to mix a little flour in there, about a heaping tablespoon. Remember, we're only cooking for one here. And we're going to brown that flour in that butter. To make kind of a roux here. Get all the lumps out of it now before we add milk. Again, remember, you have to know when to pull this off the fire. We've got all our lumps out now. Set that aside. I'm going to adjust this heat down just a little bit more. Little at a time. Little at a time. Okay. I've mixed some milk here. And this is just Carnation instant milk and water. And I'm going to slowly add the milk. Mix it in while it's warm. I'm not putting it all in at once because I don't want to shock it. You can see it lumped up a little bit. You can warm your milk up a little bit if you want to, but it's not necessary as long as you add it a little at a time. you can start to get those lumps out of it as it heats up. And as it heats up and you're pouring a little bit of milk into it, it's going to get less and less shock because you're going to have more liquid that's hot in there. You're mixing with that cool milk. Once you get all that in there, just kind of gently continue to stir it. Now, as this begins to heat up and thicken up, you're going to want to give it a constant stir, like we're doing right now. And again, you need to know when to pull it off. We're going to have to add some beef to this in a minute, but we're going to pull it off the fire before that and not let it sit here and scorch and burn. Now we've got it good and thick. From a low heat, we're getting to the point where we're about ready to put the meat in. Get out of here, John. Off table. All right. Pull this off and stir it up here. Turn that down just a shade more if we can. Now, we'll take some chipped beef here. And grab the cutting board. We're going to use one full package of this chipped beef, and we're just going to slice it up thin. Yeah, get out of here, Zon. Here. Holy crap. Cat. Killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay. Once we get that diced up, now we're ready to put that in the skillet. Okay. Get that stuff mixed up good in there. Get that beef heated up. Man, oh man. That's looking some kind of good there. Woo-wee. Some kind of good. Now, we didn't put any salt in this. We've got salt in this beef. This beef is pretty salty. It's Budding's beef. If you think you need a little bit more salt, put some in it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put pepper in this here directly. So I'm just going to take a pepper grinder here and grind some pepper over top of that. I like a lot of pepper in my gravy. If I can't see pepper, there ain't enough in it. Man, that looks good. Woo-wee. I also use salted butter in this, so that added a little bit of salt to it too. Another reason I'm not adding salt to it. Okay, that's pretty much got that part licked. Now, what we need to do is make some toast. All right, so this is how you use this skillet in this multi-fuel stove to make toast. So I've got the windscreen around the stove, and the stove is on a medium to high heat. I've got my skillet lid turned upside down, or excuse me, right side up, rather, on this stove, and my braising rack on top of that to dissipate the heat between the lid and the rack. And now I'm browning my toast to eat with my chipped beef gravy. All right, toast is about good. Turn that bad boy off and let it cool down. We're about ready to eat. All right, so as we say, nothing left but the taste test. Let's take a piece of this toast and break it up in here. Actually, we'll just break them both up in there. A little hungry this morning. Plenty of pepper on that dude. I can see it, so that's good. We'll just take it all at once. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Ooh-wee. Man, well, just for sake of purpose, we're going to put some more pepper on there. Look at that. Man, oh man. Boy, it looks good. Time to eat. Golly. Holy crap. Now, I could use a little salt. It's definitely good. Outstanding. If I tasted that gravy, I probably would have put a little salt in it. But even without salt, it's freaking delicious. Oh man. Wow. Tear that up all day. All day. That was the best breakfast meal. I grew up on this stuff. I'm sure a lot of y'all did too. Outstanding. Guys, I appreciate you joining me out here today for just a quick lesson on making gravy from scratch, basically, and the classic chip beef gravy for breakfast. I thank you for all your views. I thank you for your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. I'll be back to another video in this series as soon as I can, guys. Thanks a lot. Man. Breakfast of champions right there.